Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course Management Information Systems. Today we're going to start with Module 4, that is the Systems Development. Last module was Module 3, that was about the Business Intelligence Systems. जिसमें we were looking at the different kinds of information systems. हमने देखा था the information systems that were enterprise-wide information systems, and then we were talking about the different kinds of information systems at the management level, different management levels. Enterprise-wide information systems में we were looking at the SCM, that was the supply chain management. Then we looked at the CRM, that was the customer relationship management. We looked at their capabilities and their functionalities, and also looked at that if you want to have an enterprise-wide system implemented into the organization, तो उसके advantages और उसके disadvantages क्या-क्या हैं. That is, that whenever you want to have an ERP system or an enterprise system installed in your organization, then that requires an extensive planning, and it is not an easy procedure. Afterwards, we move towards different kinds of information systems at the management levels. जिसके अंदर हमने transaction processing systems देखे, हमने देखे management information systems, then the decision support systems, as well as the executive support systems, and also their capabilities and different functionalities that these perform, and how do these systems help the workers at different levels, or the employees at different levels, and the managers at different levels to achieve their tasks with efficiency. Afterwards, we move towards specialized information systems, जिसमें हमने knowledge management को देखा, knowledge management systems देखे, as well as expert systems that require some form of artificial intelligence and some form of different technologies to make better judgments and to make better decisions. Today we're going to start off with Module 4, and it is about system development. Systems development means that we are going to talk about the information systems development phases. That is कि अगर आपने information system या कोई भी system develop करना है या implement करना है अपने organization में, then what are the requirements for such a development, और उसके background में आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, और what is actually happening in that development phase. For example, if you are developing that information systems yourself, then what is the information system development, उसके कौन-कौन से phases हैं, उनमें कौन-कौन सी चीज़ें important हैं, और किन-किन चीज़ों को हमको देखना पड़ता है. So the very important part of any kind of system development is that it is taken as a project. That if you have to develop something, then that development basically becomes a project. So we have to look at that information system development as a project. That's why we have included this project management chapter here in this course, is because we're going to look at the information system development in the form of a project. So that's why when we deal, so जब हम उसको as a project देखेंगे, तो उसके ऊपर वही वाली चीज़ें apply होंगी जो कि एक simple project में apply होती हैं. That is उसकी planning, उसकी management, उसका implementation जो है वो सारा कुछ, it has to be according to how you deal with a simple project. So that's why I've included this chapter of project management that basically refers to the information systems development project. Right, ji. So the learning objectives for this chapter would be that we're going to discuss the importance of project management by learning different reasons of project failures. That project failures, information system के जब project fail होते हैं, what are the reasons for that, what are the consequences of that failures, and why is it important to have a project management when you're dealing with the information systems development. Then we're going to discuss the various ways of selecting projects or selecting the information systems and concepts related with that selection, what क्या-क्या चीज़ें हमें देखनी पड़ती हैं उसमें. And then we're going to discuss the risks, specifically change management, because change organization के अंदर एक बहुत important factor है. That's why we're especially going to study change management in the risks section, and what should be considered in designing for the organization. So whenever we design an information system for the organization, तो क्या-क्या चीज़ें उसमें देखनी पड़ती हैं. So this is what we're going to do in this chapter today. इसके अलावा in the next lectures, in the next chapters, we're going to actually study about the development phases of the information systems, कि उसके जो development phases होते हैं वो किस तरह देखे जाते हैं. But in the beginning, we're going to look at this whole development as a project, and we're going to see the different issues related with project management of the information systems. Now, as we know that हमने जब शुरू में भी बात की थी, then we talked about the information systems. Why are we implementing the information systems? Is because we want to bring some kind of benefits to the organization, that they want to achieve some kind of operational efficiency. Businesses want to achieve some kind of competitive advantage with the help of information systems. So this is why the basic purpose or the challenge of information systems is that they have to bring some kind of genuine business benefits. Right? So if they fail to do so, that information system fails to do so, that means कि उस information system का कोई फायदा नहीं है, and or that it was not implemented the right way. That's why managing information system projects is very important, because either they don't succeed, either because उनका जो cost है वो exceed कर जाती है, time limit है वो exceed कर जाता है during the implementation phase. So there are many problems that can occur because of faulty planning. And also sometimes the organization fails to assess its own business value. For example, they cannot properly set goals that the information systems is going to achieve. They cannot set their business strategy, or they cannot align the business strategy with the information systems. So that's why it won't deliver them the exact benefits that they want that information system to deliver. So there is a high failure rate among the information systems projects basically. Why? Because either they underestimate their business value, either they underestimate the costs, or they underestimate the time that is going to be required. For example, if they want to implement again an enterprise system or an ERP system, then again they have to be very careful about the planning. They have to be also very careful about how much time is going to be required for implementation of the whole project. Right, the inadequate, as you can see on the screen here, we have a list of consequences that can happen because of inadequate project management. So, number one is that costs can vastly exceed the budget. So, you have set a certain budget, लेकिन जो उसकी implementation costs हैं वो ज़्यादा हो रही हैं. Why? Because आपने already planning नहीं की थी, जो आपने estimated amount calculate की थी वो गलत की थी, stuff like that, just because you have not done a proper project management for this kind of project. Then it can have unexpected time slippage. Again means के for example अगर आपने कहा था एक महीने में उसका implementation हो जानी चाहिए, but it is exceeding towards 1 more month, so again that creates a lot of problems of costs, as well as आपने जो different tasks allot की होती हैं लोगों को उस सिलसिले में भी. Then there can be a problem of technical performance that is less than expected. Again, with bad project management, information systems cannot deliver what it was expected to deliver technically. And then it can have a failure to obtain the anticipated benefits. So technically, if it is not effective as much as you want it to be, that means that you're not getting the benefits that you already planned that it's going to bring. Yeah, you already anticipated that it's going to bring. Therefore, it's very important to have the knowledge about managing the information system project, what is important in managing the information system projects, and the causes of the failure. So, अभी आगे चल के we are going to discuss all of these things. The project management के कौन से concepts हैं that are very important when you're considering the information systems, and the causes of different failures. Right. Now, for example, you spend a certain amount of money in a certain information system project. आपने कहा कि ये वाला project जो है, ये वाला इस तरह का information system is what is required by the company, and you start developing it without proper planning, for example. या फिर आपने planning की है, but you have left out a few things just because there were certain problems, or you didn't have enough money to invest into the information systems. So, end में क्या होता है that if that system fails to deliver what you want it to deliver, तो वो क्या होता है, either that system is not used at all, So you spent money on a system that is not being used. और ये होता है that it is not being used to its full potential. ये भी हो सकता है उसके कुछ features use कर रहे हैं, कुछ features use नहीं कर रहे हैं. So maximum benefit, 100% benefit जो receive होना होता है वो नहीं receive होता. Then ये भी हो सकता है कि कोई manual procedures उसके साथ attach कर रहे हैं एक आप, that is not again utilizing the full features of the information systems. Manually आपने कोई procedures रख दी हैं so that it is sort of helping the information system work. So this is not how the information systems are supposed to work. जो आपने anticipate किया है, they have to bring that much of a benefit. Other problems that can occur are shown on the screen here again. Number one is doesn't fulfill the business requirements. Whatever requirements that were supposed to be delivered by the information systems, it doesn't deliver that. Right? Not in easily understandable format. Again, if you have developed, for example, it's all about user interaction at a point. So if you have written something in a format that is not easily understandable by the people who are going to use the system, then it's of no use again. Again, design with poor user interface. User interface again becomes a very important part of the system because people are not going to directly do the programming inside the system. They're going to communicate with the system through the user interface. So if the user interfaces are not designed in a very friendly manner or an easy to use manner, then it will become difficult for people. For example, form एक तरह का बना हुआ है, अगर वो form की बहुत haphazard किस्म का आपने form बनाया हुआ है online, and people will be definitely hesitant to use that form because they would be confused of what kind of information they need to give in that form. Right? Then the output is difficult to comprehend. Again, if the reports are generated in easily understandable format, that would be much easier for people to understand the reports and compare the reports and use them for proper decision making again. Data is inconsistent or incomplete. Again, if you have not implemented the right kind of data error checking techniques, or you've not implemented what kind of data is going in the system, and you have no checks for checking that if the data or the output or information that is being generated is correct or not, then data is going to remain inconsistent and incomplete. And when this data again, this is all about data integrity. If that is compromised, then information system again is of no use. Web pages are cluttered and poorly arranged. Again, if you have a web page that is associated with the system, then that page needs to be again in a very user-friendly format. So if it's going to be cluttered, या बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें उसके अंदर आपने डाल दी हैं, या there's haphazard information on the web page, बस उठा के copy paste कहीं से करके डाल दी information, then again it's not going to be of any use to the people who are going to use that information system. So basically, when you are creating the system, you have to keep the user preferences in mind, that who is going to use that system and what is the information required by that particular person or by that particular group of people or group of managers that are going to use that system. That's why again it's very, very important that you keep all these things under consideration whenever you're working on an information systems project. आगे चल के हम we're going to have a look at the different concepts that are related with the project selection. That basically we're going to go through how can you define a project, how can you define the project management, and it's related with the information systems. How are you going to select a certain kind of information system? And then we're going to look at the different concepts or different factors that affect the development of the project, of the system project जिसे हम कहते हैं. Alright, information system project, basically what it is a planned series of related activities for achieving a specific business objective. Right? आपके किसी कोई भी एक project होता है, what is it? It's basically a series of activities that people do in different points in time, and they are going to achieve a certain goal with it or achieve a specific business objective with it. Right, so similarly, this is what we mean by an information system project as well. So information system project includes activities of development of a new information system, or they're going to enhance the existing information system, or they're going to update or replace a certain IT infrastructure that is present in the company. So these are the few things that are included in the information system project. That is, either you're developing an information system, you're enhancing the already placed information system, or you're updating or replacing the IT infrastructure. So all of these things become a part of the information system project. So in सब चीज़ों को हम information system project बोलते हैं. Right, what is project management now? Then project management basically refers to the application of knowledge, the skills, the tools and techniques, again, to achieve the specific target within a specified budget and time constraints. So you have a specific budget, you have a specific time constraint, and this is the time allotted for the completion of a certain project, and this is the money allocated for the project. So you have to apply the skills, the tools, techniques, everything that is available to you to complete that project. Now the project management includes various activities as well. Number one is planning for the work, what is to be done in the project, assessing the risk that is involved in developing a certain information system, estimating the resources required, organizing the work, again, acquiring human and material resources, what are the materials required to accomplish the task, what are the human resources required, assigning tasks to the different groups or the different people. In project execution itself, when it starts working, reporting the progress while it's being done, and then analyzing the results when a certain activity has been done, or testing जिसको हम कहते हैं. So this is all part of the project management. Now there are different variables that, again, जिस तरह बाकी सारे projects में ये variables involve होते हैं, information system project में भी ये वाले variable involve होते हैं. Again, a scope is what work does the project encompass, means what is included in that certain project and what is excluded. Need to define the scope initially. That is, this is the part, these things are part of the project. For example, अगर आप information systems को enhance करें, that is already there, then you have to specify that this is a part of that information system. For example, order processing का जो हम part है, उसको हम सिर्फ enhance करेंगे. This is the only part that we're going to work on. This will be our project. Then time, amount of time required to complete the project, and not just project. That means on the whole project को हम activities में divide करते हैं, and then the activities are divided into tasks. So a timeline is set for different project components, different project activities, different project tasks. So again, you use certain software to define your timelines and set milestones that this task is going to be completed by this time, etc. Then is cost, that is depends on the time required multiplied by the cost of human resources. So that is the cost, plus the hardware, software and workspace costs are also included in the cost dimension or the variable. Quality indicates how well has the project satisfied the management, also ensures accuracy and timeliness of the information produced. So it not only means that quality checking is not only that it satisfies the management, that it is the project is achieving those benefits that were initially anticipated, but it is going to check that information produced is accurate, is complete, is error-free, and the information produced is on time as well. Delays to nahi aa rahe, inconsistency to nahi aa rahi. So quality checking has to be done whenever you are doing the information system project, because that is again a very crucial part of it. Risks, again, very important variable of the project management is the potential problems that would threaten the success of a project. While so these problems either occur while starting the project, or they're going to occur during the project, or they're going to occur when the project is done and information system is being used. Then what are the risks involved in using that system? So the risk can occur at any time. So basic risk is how are the people going to perceived as system. Are the people going to accept it? Are the people going to accept the change or not? So again, risks में हम change management को detail में देखेंगे. So these are the few important concepts जो कि project से related होते हैं. हम that is project management को define किया. Project management में कौन कौन सी activities आ रही हैं, and again the variables that are again part of every project management approach. Right, now we're going to talk about project management concepts. Right, first concept that is related with proper project management planning is developing a information systems plan. Now, what is information systems plan is to identify which information system project to have that best suits the business strategy, or that best suits the business plan, that it's going this information system or this kind of information system or this project is basically going to give you the maximum benefits. So that's why it's very important. Number one is to develop a information systems plan that supports the overall business plan. That is, आपके company का कौन सा business plan है, what is the business strategy of that business, and then afterwards you're going to map that information systems plan according to that business plan. So this is called linking the systems projects to the business plan. So this information systems plan जिसको हम कह रहे हैं कि that has to be linked to the business plan, इसके जो different components हैं these are the following. So basically it is a guide that is going to guide you into these following dimensions. That is, number one is it gives you the direction of the system development. That is, it is going to give a purpose to the system development. Then the plan serves to define the rationale as well. It serves to define the current systems and situations, that what is the current system and what is the situation at the moment in the organization. And then it's going to give a new development to consider, what kinds of new systems that can be implemented. Then it's going to define the management strategy for implementing those systems and the implementation plan as well as the budget. So this information systems plan has to be developed. It basically gives a roadmap, or basically gives a guide to all of these points. The plan also indicates the key management decisions for acquiring the IT infrastructure. Management decision define करते हैं. Acquiring IT infrastructure means कि कौन से hardware, software, telecommunication requirements हैं for a certain project. Also, centralization and decentralization of not only the authority but also the data. That is कि authority जो होगी वो IT की किसके पास होगी, and also the data, either it's going to be kept in a centralized environment or a decentralized environment. Then also it gives a management decision of organizational change. That is, how are you going to manage the organizational change when it's after the implementation of a certain information system. कौन से लोगों को job assignment change होनी है, किन लोगों की job assignment change होनी है, किन लोगों की training की ज़रूरत है, कौन से hiring होनी है और कौन से recruitment और होनी है. So all this kind of organizational change is again part of the management decision for that is part of the information systems plan. Also, whenever you are moving towards an information system, and when you are planning for an information system, then for decision-making system especially, managers should identify what decision improvements are required to be achieved. That is, that if you are implementing a decision support system, for example, then managers again at this point need to identify कि ये वाला system is going to improve this certain decision. Right? These kind of decisions will be improved by this system. Or if you're moving towards a management information system, then it also needs to specify that these are the kind of information that this information system is going to produce. ये इस किस्म के decisions improve करेगा, ये इस किस्म के information improve करेगा, ये इस किस्म के task improve करेगा. So all these things have to be defined at this moment, and this becomes a part of the information systems plan. That information system एक तो ये कि ये काम करेगा. This is the improvements, these are the benefits it's going to bring. This is how it's going to help the managers. And not only that, it's going to define what is required by the information system, how is the authority going to be managed, how is the data going to be managed, what is the change, how is the change going to be managed by the system. So basically it encompasses the whole organization, not just if uska IT part ko cater nahi karega, but it's going to encompass the whole organizational aspect. Right, next we have the critical success factors. Critical success factors, again, when you have the information systems plan, then you have to define the long-term as well as the short-term information requirements of that information systems. And these requirements are then determined by the CSF. That is, that if that certain system has achieved these factors, or it has achieved these information requirements, then that system is successful. So if it has attained those set of goals, if that information system or that project has attained those set of goals, then that means the success of the organization is assured. So there are different kinds of success factors. Again, that depends on the organization कि वो अपने कौन से success factors choose करते हैं, which are basically given by the top managers. The IT जो IS specialists होते हैं, they interview the top management for their kind of CSF. So usually the management gives their own personal kind of CSF, which are again combined together to become the organizational CSF. So at times there are disparities and there are confusions between what are the personal CSF and what are the organizational CSF. So again, this is up to the organization to come up with a set of critical success factors that are going to basically benefit the organization on its whole. Right, ji. For example, automobile companies, what will be their success factors is, for example, they're going to concentrate, if they want to add value, or if they want to achieve a competitive edge, then they're going to consider the styling, they could consider the quality as well as the cost. That is, they give a better quality in not much of a cost. So they're going to have these kind of success factors that they need to achieve a certain kind of competitive edge. Therefore, information systems basically need to be built to provide information that help the firm meet these goals. And these goals, these success factors, need to be sort of assigned or need to be pinpointed out by the management themselves. That's why, again, as we say, it's very important that when you are developing the information systems or whenever this project is going on, then management support is highly valuable for the success of such a project. Right, next we come to portfolio analysis. Again, portfolio analysis is basically used to evaluate alternative system projects. That is, again, we're talking about the selection of different kinds of projects that are going to help the organization, or different kinds of information systems that are going to help the organization. So it lists all the organization's information projects as well as the assets. Portfolio analysis में आप सारे projects और उनके assets को mention कर देते हैं. Then you're going to basically profile the different risks and benefits to the firm. That is, this is the information system project, these are the assets required in that project, these are the risks of that certain project, these are the set of benefits that that system is going to bring. So basically आप choose करते हैं most desirable form of project जिसके high benefits होते हैं और low risk होते हैं. But this is not usually the case. Different organization के different needs होते हैं. But ये जो high benefits और low risk वाला है, these are basically a very let's just say a very best case model जिसको हम कहते हैं वो है. Otherwise, usually when people do projects, they usually have a low project risk and a low set of benefits as well. So that they keep themselves on a very safe side, low risk and low benefits. Usually, जब आप like we talked about before as well, that when we were doing the business process re-engineering को जब हम देख रहे थे, then we said that it is a very risky implementation होती है उसकी, and it is all about a radical change that's going to completely change the system, तो उसके अंदर जो factor आ जाता है, that is you have to have a high risk, then it caters for the high risk and high benefits. So it has extremely high benefits, but it has extremely high risk as well, that if it fails, then it is going to be fail miserably, and if it's going to create benefits, then it's going to create extreme benefits. So BPR here basically works as a high risk, high benefit project, and that is specifically required for the kind of organizations that are information intensive. Again, जैसे finance में, for example, you can again implement high risk, high benefit projects, but for non information sensitive organizations, you can simply have a high benefit, low risk project, so that you keep on the safe side. Again, the companies obviously need to extremely avoid this one, that is you have a low benefit but a high risk possibility. So इस किस्म के projects को बिल्कुल ही avoid करना चाहिए. However, these projects are also used as well as these projects as well. Next, we have the scoring models, again for the selection of the information systems. For example, you're going to select different kinds of enterprise system into an organization, then उस enterprise systems को 2-3 systems है, for example, then how are you going to evaluate those systems? By the use of scoring models. Scoring models क्या है? It is useful for selecting projects where many criteria must be considered, और different criteria को different weights assign कर दिए जाते हैं to different features, and these are calculated. So they calculate the weighted total of a certain system, and according to that they're going to implement the system. Again, the criteria again are defined by the management themselves. The management sits together, comes up with a unanimous decision that these are the criteria that needs to be considered, and these should be the weights assigned according to what the organization needs. So, for example, weights can be assigned to certain aspects of order processing, inventory management and warehousing. For example, अगर उन्होंने enterprise systems में ये 3 functions डालने हैं, order processing के, inventory management के, warehousing के, तो उनके different functionalities जो हैं order processing की, उनके different functionalities को weights assign कर दिए जाएंगे, so that they're going to evaluate that this system का जो ये वाला function है, this is working at a 0.4 level, or this is working at a 0.3 level, then they're going to calculate के हमें क्या चीज़ required है. So even though this is all about calculations and they're assigning weights और वो सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, but there's a lot of qualitative judgment involved here. So it's involved by experts who understand the issues and the technology. So it's not only done by simple managers who have no idea about what enterprise systems are. In fact, experts involved होते हैं that are basically going to evaluate. They're going to basically decide what are the criteria, and they're going to assign weights according to their expert judgments that अगर ये वाला काम ये system कर रहा है, then we're going to assign 4 points for this function, because this is what is more important to our organization. So again, even though it's quantitative, again the judgments involved in all this criteria selection is all qualitative. Okay, now when we talk about the potential risks that different projects face, then the very important risk factor is the change management, because whenever you implement a certain information system, or either you're simply updating a simple IT infrastructure, then that means you are changing the way people are interacting with the system. So it basically causes change in the way people are defining, accessing and using the system to manage different organizational activities. So this is not a very something that needs to be considered very lightly, but the people need to go through a certain training, people need to go through sort of a preparation for that change. Because information systems, whether they are new or whether they are simply being updated, have a huge behavioral as well as organizational impact. They not only have an effect on the organization, how the people are dealing with the information, but this is going to have a behavioral change as well. Because if they're used to doing something in a manual way, then automating that process or changing their job structure has a behavioral effect as well, and people are bound to resist on such kind of acts. So all this kind of change in how people are going to define the knowledge, how people are going to act on that knowledge, how people are going to use and manage the information system for different organizational activities often leads to new distributions of authority and power as well. So you are basically going to change a complete organizational structure at times when you are changing the information systems. So successful system development is hugely dependent on the change management. Now change management kya hai? And basically most of the information system projects fail because there's a lack of proper change management. Why? Because people are going to resist using a new system. People are hesitant to use the new system. People probably do not like the authority that has been taken away from them, or the new authority के जो features हैं वो उनको properly नहीं बताए गए, or they've not been properly trained to use the new system. So they're not going to like what they're going to see. आगे चल के हम देखते हैं कि कौन से reasons होते हैं why people are hesitant in using the system. Let's talk about the concept of implementation first. What is it? It basically refers to all organizational activities working towards adoption, management and routinization of the new information system. So implementation, एक change implementation जिसको हम कहते हैं, concept of implementation is that it refers to those organizational activities जो के help करती हैं organization को in trying to adopt the new system, in the management of the new system and routinization of the new information system. That is, that it becomes part of the routine, that it becomes easily accepted by the people who are going to use it. And ye wala sara kaam, again, that becomes the responsibility of the system analyst again. So system analyst, again, like we said before as well, when we were talking about the information systems, that system analyst is the person that is working in the middle of the whole information system development. So information systems ko either you're developing it, or either you're enhancing it, or either you're changing it. System analyst is basically the middleman that is working and coordinating with different parties or the different stakeholders that are involved in that process of development of the information system. So he or she is basically acting as a change agent here as well. So uski responsibility kya hai? He's going to redefine the configuration, interactions, job activities and power relationship of various organizational groups as well, and ensure also that all the parties accept change. So this means that he or she is going to devise plans कि उसके configuration, integration और job activities किस तरह change हो रही हैं, और power relationship और different organizational groups के किस तरह change हो रहे हैं. He or she is going to manage that as well, and also ensure different parties के साथ coordinate करके communication करके he or she needs to ensure that everybody in the organization is ready for the change and everybody in the organization is going to accept that new system. And this is very important, because if people resist on using the new system, then that new system is of no use to the organization. So that person basically acts as a mediator between the different groups, और उन groups के अंदर communication पैदा करने के लिए उनके अंदर कोई भी misunderstandings हैं उनको reduce करने के लिए उसको एक plan, उसको एक management strategy बनानी पड़ती है. Similarly, the important person that is very crucial to the success of the information system project is the end user. That is, whoever is going to use the system through the help of that user interface, whoever is going to use the system, either inside the organization or outside it, is very important कि उसका feedback भी लिया जाए. So And then again, there are various positive reasons of user involvement in the implementation of information systems. Like we said, if the people who are going to use the system are not going to like the system, or they're not ready to accept the system, then again the system is going to fail, or the project is going to fail. If you involve the users that are actually going to use the system, then it brings a lot of benefits. Again, number one benefit is users have more opportunity to mold the system according to their priorities and business requirements. That is, whatever is the business requirement. For example, for a manager, for example, he wants to work on the management information system, and he requires that this is what the management information system is going to do for me, then he will be better able to tell the IT specialist or the information system specialist that this is what I want from the system. That's why a user involvement is more required, or it's more beneficial. Second point is that they're more likely to react positively to the completed system. So that means they're not going to resist the system, they're going to look forward to the system, they're going to accept the system, because they know that that system is basically there to help them with their tasks. And it's not going to become an obstacle, or it's not going to become a hurdle in what they want to do. Again, user knowledge and expertise leads to better solutions. Now, because since they know what the user requirement is, they know how the system is going to be used. User requirement also defines the information that system is going to produce. It's going to define what is that system going to improve. ठीक है, सिर्फ उसके आप टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट्स को इम्प्रूव नहीं कर रहे, बट उसका जो पर्पस है, द बिजनेस पर्पस है, वो आप इम्प्रूव कर रहे हैं, उसकी डिसीजन मेकिंग इम्प्रूव कर रहे हैं, उसके इंफॉर्मेशन जनरेशन जो है वो इम्प्रूव कर रहे हैं आप. So that's why it's very important to have the feedback from the user as well, or the input from the user as well whenever you're developing an information systems project, because the users, the managers, whoever is going to use the system has a say in what they want from that system. But in most of the cases, this kind of user-designer communication does not take place, or इसको हम user-designer communication gap बोलते हैं. And that can be a cause of high-risk failure to the project again. Why? Why is that a problem? Because users जो हैं वो basically बात करते हैं अपने business terms में. For example, they're going to talk about solving the business problem, whereas a technical person or the information system specialist, he's going to talk about in terms of using the resources or the technical requirements in the useful manner. For example, how much database is required, how much storage space we need to reduce, how much of hardware and the CPU time do we require for that. Okay, so he's going to think in terms of technical terms. But the end user, or the basically a user or the manager, for example, he's going to think in terms of solving a certain kind of a business problem. For example, he wants a report that gives you this kind of information, this kind of comparison, these kind of summaries. So there is again a kind of a communication gap, and इस gap की हमने बात पहले भी की थी when we said that this system analyst is basically there to reduce that communication gap. So it's up to the system analyst that he's going to sort of translate those two languages, the business language as well as the technical languages, and come up with a certain solution to both the problems, so that technically जो business requirement है वो translate हो जाए in technical terms, so that it's easier for those IT people to understand what the business wants or what the managers want from them. So because both parties are concerned with different ways to solve a problem, that's why it's very important for them to reconcile on a certain solution, and that can be done with the help of a system analyst, that he has to again be the mediator between these two parties. Now again, we're going to talk about change management when we do certain kind of radical changes. Again, radical changes कहाँ आ रही हैं? Business process re-engineering में आती है, enterprise applications में आती है, and mergers and acquisition as well. So when you are involving VPR or when you're involving enterprise application, that brings in a challenge of innovation and implementation, because these are innovative systems, because these are innovative ways of doing businesses. That's why there is a lot of implementation point पे जो change management है वो बहुत ज़्यादा required है, because basically they're going, both these BPR enterprise systems are basically going to replace old techniques and legacy systems. That means they're going to completely change how business was being done before, and they're going to bring in a new system that is going to redefine how the people are going to deal with the information and how people are going to do the business now. Right जी, so that is the basic point here, that सिर्फ ये चीज़ define करना business process re-engineering में, like we said before, that how are we going to radically change the system, this is one question that they have to answer, and this is relatively easier than answering the questions of how are we going to deal with the fear and anxiety of using the new system, how are we going to overcome the resistance by key managers, how are we going to manage the jobs. So these kind of questions pose more difficulty than a simple question of how are we going to implement the enterprise system, or how are we going to do the business process re-engineering, how are we going to overhaul the system. These are easier, but changing or dealing with people or dealing with the resistance that can be caused by key managers is much more difficult, and that needs to be solved, and that needs proper planning simultaneously, side by side, when you want to go for a complete radical change in the business. Similarly, mergers maybe, it's not about changing one organization, in fact it is combining the information systems of two organizations, because without system integration, benefits that were anticipated from mergers cannot be realized. So again, that requires change management, not in one organization but in two organizations simultaneously. So these are the radical changes that occur in an organization, जिनके अंदर change management को ignore बिल्कुल भी नहीं कर सकते, and this change management has to be a crucial part of the information systems project. Again, to extend this further, इसी change management को throughout the organization को हम आगे चल के देखते हैं, that when you are designing for the organization, that means when you are designing the information system for the organization, so these projects must explicitly address ways in which the organization will change. That means that these projects should not just simply say that we're going to implement this kind of IT policy or this kind of IT infrastructure in this organization, but they need to explicitly mention that organization change will occur और वो इस किस्म के change होंगे. That means it has to define the transformations in job functions, the changes in the organizational structure at times, the power relationships, the work environment, what will be consequences of the new system to these kind of factors involved, so that people can be prepared, people can be aware of what is going to happen next. Again, important aspect of an information system is ergonomics. That means interaction of people and machines in the work environment. Again, you have to be very careful about the ergonomics, जिसमें आपका health आ जाती है, how people are going to user interfaces आ जाते हैं, health concepts आ जाते हैं. So ergonomic again is a very important factor that needs to be considered when you're changing a certain IT infrastructure. एक और concept that is about organizational impact analysis. That explains how proposed systems will affect various aspects of the organization, which includes not only the organizational structure, कि अगर आप इस किस्म का system लेके आ रहे हैं, for example, a complete ERP system is going to change the organizational structure as well, because उसमें आपको different functional areas के information share करनी पड़ती है. So that's why these systems need to do a complete impact analysis. Okay, if this is what we're going to do, then this is going to be the result of the certain function, or this is what are going to be the resistance, these are what are going to be the risks of a certain implementation. Also, it's going to discuss the impact in the decision making, also the impact in the attitudes of the people. So these are the different aspects that needs to be kept in mind when you are implementing such a project. So all of these things, जब हम ये behavioral approach की बात करते हैं, जब हम attitudes की बात करते हैं, जब हम change management की बात करते हैं, human resistance की बात करते हैं, so all of these things come again to a point, the point that we did in the second chapter, that is that we adopt a socio-technical approach. We said information systems is not about simple technology. It's not about simply implementing the IT infrastructure. It is about looking at the economics, looking at the behaviors of the people as well. So this is what we come to the point again here in the end here again as well, that this is not about simply taking up a certain IT system और आपने उसको implement कर दिया without proper planning or without proper change management, कि how are people going to use that system. So that means it consists of the technical solutions are compared with the social solutions as well. So if they're going to see that this is the technical solution to a certain problem, what impact, what behavioral impact, what attitude impact is going to have on the people as well, and how are people going to interact with the system or interact with the machines. So again, you have to think in terms of a socio-technical design. जिसमें आपको not only have to consider the technical approaches, you have to consider the social impact of those solutions as well. So that means it can creates an information system that blends the technical efficiency with sensitivity to organizational as well as human needs, leading to higher job satisfaction and productivity. So this is again a very important point here, जो कि हमने chapter 2 में भी पढ़ा था, that information systems is not only about technical work, it's not only about hardware and software, it's about the people involved in using that system as well. So unless and until you have a system that is accepted by the people, unless and until you have the system that is easy to work with, that is friendly, that is giving the users what is the requirement of the users, and it is giving the organization what it needs, and it is coming meeting the needs of the organization, or it's meeting the goals of the organization, only then the information system will be successful, and only then a project that is creating that information system will be successful. Otherwise, you're going to spend money on just creation of a simple IT structure जिसके आपने user needs नहीं देखी, जिसमें आपने organizational needs नहीं देखी, then that system is not going to be productive. ना आपको job satisfaction मिलेगी, ना productivity मिलेगी, ना वो benefits मिलेंगे, and similarly you're going to lose the competitive edge that you wanted to achieve with that information systems. Right, so in this chapter we talked about the project management concerning the information systems, that when we want to develop an information system, then we take that as a project and उसके ऊपर जो project management के concepts हैं वही apply करेंगे. Information system projects, again, like we said, have a high failure rate. Why? Because of improper project management, because the organizations underestimate, for example, the private sector basically underestimates the use of information systems and does not consider the development as a project at times. So that's why there's a high failure rate, the costs exceed, जिसमें हमने ये देखा था कि time exceed कर जाता है, cost exceed कर जाती हैं, and at times the system does not technically fulfill the requirements that it was supposed to do. Then information projects again need to be linked to the business plans. जो business strategy है, information projects need to be linked to that, and the IT goals that need to be achieved with the information systems need to be mapped to the corporate goals. So you need to identify what your company requires, need to identify what are the goals of the company and what are the improvements that a certain system is going to bring to the company. So while selecting the projects or while selecting a certain kind of information system for this company or for the firm is basically based on the critical success factors. Again, if a certain project is going to complete a certain set of goals, then it's successful. Then the portfolio analysis means that you're going to select the project basis on the level of risk it has and the level of benefits it has. Also, you can do it by the help of scoring models, that is, you are assigning the weights to the certain criteria that you give to a certain that is part of a certain system. Right, then we talked about the change management. जिसमें हमने देखा था the change management again is very crucial for the success for any project, especially the information systems project, because information systems is not about only about implementing an IT infrastructure. It's not only about updating an IT infrastructure. It's about making people accept that system, making people use the system to its full potential, and making the system work for the people and for helping them do their tasks. That's why information projects need to be developed keeping the organizational and the management needs in mind. So that means they have to move towards a socio-technical approach. जिसमें you are keeping in mind the technical aspects, you keeping in mind the technical efficiency, and also you keeping in mind the different organizational needs, the different management needs, people needs in mind, how it's going to affect the organization, how in attitude wise, or how it's going to affect the organization depending on its structure or the behavior of the people that are involved in the organization. So this is the summary that I just told about the different IS project selection, the IS project success, as well as the IS project development. In the next chapter, we're going to study about the different information system development phases. That when you start off with the development, then what are the phases that would be required in that in completing a certain information system. So again, the key line here is that knowledge about the project management concerning the information systems again is very important, and knowledge about the causes of failures is also important, so that whenever you try to implement a certain project that requires information system overhaul or that requires a new information system to be placed in an organization, then you have this kind of information in mind that these kind of certain problems can occur, and you plan accordingly so that you can minimize the effect of the risks and the change management especially. So thank you very much. We will meet in the next lecture.